So a good friend of mine, TK, used my suggestion box in my Discord to recommend I make a video about Doechii. I think that's how you say her name. Now TK and I always discuss music together because we have similar tastes, but it is kind of varying. He listens to a lot of rap and I listen to a lot of R&B, and we kind of just mix our playlists together and look around at what each other like. He's shown me some music and I've shown him some music. And now that being said, I wanted to be as fair as possible to Doechii and try to give Doechii as much benefit as I could, because I know it's kind of viral right now to hate on her, and I've never really listened to any of the music other than some TikTok clips that have had the music. I didn't want to take that into account either. I only looked up her music on Spotify and YouTube. I went on her top 10 on both and just listened to the music. I didn't look up on TikTok because I don't want to take anybody else's opinion into account other than mine. Along with some features too, because you guys know that's also another thing that's being talked about. And I gotta say, her music is a variable. Her music isn't bad per se. A few things that I liked about her was her voice is really unique, other than a few mannerisms, which I'll get into later. The beats she uses are pretty decent, but there's also another gripe I have about those that I'll get into later. I do like them, but I think they could have some more uniqueness. Her writing is decently done because she isn't just mumbling. She's one of the very few very lyrical rappers to come out of this new age. She's signed by Top Dog Records, which is always kind of cool to me because that's Kendrick's label. And at least in the first few songs I listened to, I really liked them. Even if they're overly hated, for example, like Anxiety, which everyone hates right now, I think it was good. I think she's pretty lyrically sound. And that being said, is she telling any kind of story during it? Not much. There's some things you can derive from the lyrics, like everything is going together. For example, on Anxiety, when she says, "Next thing, my life is a wet dream. I call it a sex scene. The back is a nice tease. I tried to escape my life is an x-ray. I'm sorry, a sex tape. You only get one take. Quiet on set, please." Now, I know I'm shitty. I kind of just paraphrased it. I know I didn't do it the way she did it. I'm not going to sit here and try and like replicate her voice, tone, or anything, because I'm not musically sound at all. But the cool thing is that everyone can interpret music different. What I interpreted from this is she's talking about sex almost like it's an addiction and she's addicted to it. And being an addict is being a victim to something. And then she references the documentary Quiet on Set, which is people that were victims to that. I think that was a really cool little reference. I don't know if that's what she meant, but I do think it tells you something more than just being shit that rhymes. And I noticed in 2 to 3 songs that she's made that I listened to, she does reference stuff like this. Like in that other song that I can't think of the title, where she's talking about she loves sex, she loves drugs, she loves the Hollywood lifestyle and how it works and feels good and all that. It's kind of the same kind of theme. And I like that she's being a little different about rapping when it comes to talking about mature things like this. Rappers, male and female, usually go, "I bust this batter out of the can and throw butter on it." They get way too detailed, in my opinion, and it makes me cringe so much. And she's rapping about it in a different way that doesn't make me cringe, because it just doesn't make me so detailed, like I'm sitting here spectating something. You know what I mean? Like you feel wrong. And I like different. Different is always good. Well, not always good, but you know what? I just don't like how detailed rappers get when they're talking about doing the tango, bro. Get out of my ear with that shit. Now, she isn't lyrically sound, because why did you have to say this? I don't understand why this is on the song. You know what I mean? This doesn't reference anything here during the song. Like, come on, be for real. But now that we went over everything good, let me just start by saying I can really hop on all the stuff I didn't like, and I'm going to go a lot more into detail, because I did try and give her the benefit into all the good. All the stuff I disliked was after you listen to Anxiety for the 3rd time, you want to cut your ears off. I literally can't stand listening to the song anymore, and there's a perfect example. When rappers take an iconic song from our time and then rap over it, you inherently ruin your song. She took Somebody That I Used to Know, which is already a global song that exploded. It's been all over the world for the last 10 years. It never died. It's still something people frequently listen to and you still hear over TikTok and whatever else. I hear it on the radio, and I loved the song growing up, and even into my adulthood, I loved it. She ripped it down, took the hardest part of the song to make, which was the beat, and then rapped over it with some extra bells and whistles and doodads on it, and then here's what this calls. The song's already been platinum and heard everywhere. You rap over it and your song explodes. People are already fatigued by the beat. People are already fatigued by the lyrics. Anything that you put onto it is just going to bring more fatigue. Your song's going to blow up and it's going to be hated. Not because it's a bad song, like I said, but we've heard this beat 65,000 times in different variations of the same variation. It's already existing fatigue in our generation, and you got to wait a while for a song to be dead to revive it. You can remix things that are dead or unknown and kind of quiet from the older time, but if it's something like a global hit like this that's just alive forever, it's hard to remix it, especially like this where you don't vary it. You shouldn't hop on a song that everyone's already tired of and do your best work. You're automatically going to get condemned because they either tired of your song or they want to hear their favorite song, and then they got to hear you because you start the beat off the exact same way. If you listen to Somebody That I Used to Know and then you listen to her Anxiety song, literally, bro, it's the exact same, and you have to wait to see if it's the song you like or if it's the song that you don't like. Somebody that actually executes what I'm saying well is actually The Unspeakable. Kanye West usually samples older songs from the 40s all the way to the 70s and 80s that are currently out of this generation's brains, like Through the Wire, for example. I love that song. He's taking a voice snippet from a song called Through the Fire by Chaka Khan that all the way back from 1984. So it's already out of people's heads, and he also doesn't rip it direct. He takes that voice snippet and he worked it into his own beat and turns it into something beautiful, while Doechii took an already loved song that's from the last 10 to 15 years that's still viral, didn't alter it very much, and then made something fantastic out of it, but just chose a song that's too iconic and didn't change it enough to make it refreshing and not just the same old thing you've heard. It's not a good idea to do it that way. Like, imagine if Ice Ice Baby used Queen's entire beat instead of just the bass line and maybe some other things that I didn't hear.
Listened to that song in a really long time, actually. That's a really good example.
Another thing I disliked was Doechii feels like kind of like a knockoff of like 6 different rappers. I can't put my finger on all of them, so I'm not going to say all of them, but one that just bothered me was she tries to do Nicki Minaj's voice sometimes, and it just throws me off so bad, man. She can't replicate it, and she sounds different almost on every song she's made, and I guess she's just trying to find her feet. Obviously, she's a new artist. She needs to find her sound. But this is just one of those things that come and go. Sometimes she does it, sometimes she doesn't. And maybe in her newer songs, she doesn't do it as much, but in some of the other songs, she did. I don't know. I don't like when you take direct rips from different rappers and stuff like that. It's kind of cringy to steal somebody else's repertoire and try and make it into your... You've been making music for 10 years, 5 years, 4 years. You should be finding out your own sound. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with replicating sound too, but it's just when you're kind of ripping like off directly, it's kind of Also, another thing I didn't care for was her beats just aren't that good to me. And no hate to her or her producer if she even has one, but they feel kind of off compared to her voice. They're good beats, but they just don't match with her. Some of them can be real light and high up in tone compared to her lower voice, because for a woman, she does have a very low voice in some of these songs. And either you need to adapt the beat to how she envisions her voice on the record, or she needs to hold her voice higher or lower, depending on which beat she's going to be on. If you know you need to be higher, hold it up. If you know you need to be lower for the tone, then hold it down. Kendrick Lamar actually does this really well because he'll hold his voice up or down depending on which beat he's on, especially with his new album, but And finally, I'm going to get into the worst of the worst. Timeless remix. This has to be the worst feature I've ever heard. It's the worst of the entire decade. I mean, like, the entirety of the 2000s will never have this bad of a feature. Hell, I think Kanye and that one meme rapper, like, I think that was a better feature. The lyrics are terrible. It felt like she got invited to do a feature and was just given a deadline, had limited time, and just straight up rushed the damn writing of this. It's so bad. Pulling up, Rockstar, Kick It Nonstop, Cream did a cream, I'm the cream of the crop. Like, what? I agree what was said right after this. The do you mean? None of this really goes together, and it's even if it does go together, you can say so much better things than this shit. This didn't scratch my ears. This is not... When you make music, you're supposed to really grab somebody's attention, but this, it almost repelled me. I felt like it was a magnet, but turned the wrong way. I was pushing off of the song, not being brought into this song. This song didn't even need a remix to begin with, because I already like the base model song. Obviously, songs get remixes that I love can actually get better, like that freestyle remix by the dude that says crack with that AR when he added Kodak Black on the song. That got better. I like that. But this song just didn't need it. I'd rather see Glorilla do it on this song if you're going to invite anybody else, or someone else. Just get her out of my ear. She didn't do very good, man. I'm not even against people using ghostwriters. If it's going to make the song better for me to enjoy, do it. I don't care. You can have somebody else help you write. And hell, even if you don't want it to be known, I don't care, man. But honestly, have some people help you. It ain't that big a deal, man. Like, come on, bro. I had a buddy Stitch of mine help me with some Twitch emotes one time, and I'm not going to, like, hide it. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Take the help. Anyways, I think that's all I have to say. Thank you, TK, for the suggestion. And again, I hope you guys don't get, like, mad. I don't think anybody's going to be mad about this, bro. I don't think anybody cares. The entirety of the internet's beating her up, and I try to be as nice as I could, really. Because she's not that bad. It's just some of the things that are being talked about in this video are valid points to me. And if I'm not going to make a valid point, I'm not going to talk about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.